he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So he said, I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, it sounds a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology. Aiken Ophthalmology provides high quality, comfortable, and dependable treatment in Aiken and North Augusta. With our newly expanded facility, we now have 4 experienced physicians that are up to date on the latest procedures, and our surgery center offers the finest eye care technology available to better serve you. Make your appointment today with Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count on Chandler. That means that you can count on us to fight for us.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, it sounds a lot better. I'm so grateful for it. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology. Aiken Ophthalmology provides high-quality, comfortable, and dependable treatment in Aiken and North Augusta. With our newly expanded facility, we now have 4 experienced physicians that are up to date on the latest procedures, and our surgery center offers the finest eye care technology available to better serve you. Make your appointment today with Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to kind of challenge. That means that you can count on us to fight for you.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, it sounds a lot better. I'm so grateful for it. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology. Aiken Ophthalmology provides high quality, comfortable, and dependable treatment in Aiken and North Augusta. With our newly expanded facility, we now have 4 experienced physicians that are up to date on the latest procedures, and our surgery center offers the finest eye care technology available to better serve you. Make your appointment today with Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count on challenge. That means that you can count on us to fight.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, it sounds a lot better.
wrangle one up.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
That's good. Hello.
Good evening, Thoroughbred fans, and welcome to the Stomping Grounds. This is a message from Coach Hamilton. Stomping in football is a program that has the belief that if you work hard and do things the right way, good things will happen. We stay humble as we strive to gain respect through our community and our state. We want to produce a product that not only entertains our community, but also makes them proud with the way we work and play this great game. It is our goal at South Aiken not only to produce good football players on the field, but to produce great young men in the field of life. We're excited as we take the next step of the program and look to the future of South Aiken football.
Which side do you want?
Huh?
Which side do you want to be on?
You'd be on that side.
Yeah, it's hot. I'm hot too.
This isn't hot compared to some of the things we do.
No. The weather's not bad. I'm just hot. So, come on, huh?
We're watching football.
Defensive end number 5, Desmond Lawrence. At defensive end number 13,
Here, let me get these.
Oliphant. The nose guard number 53, Jason Hamilton. Outside linebacker number 8, Zaire Harrison. Outside linebacker number 20, Braden Briatico. At linebacker number 40, Tyler Hudson. At linebacker number 45, Aaron Mizell. At cornerback number 4, Harry Waterbaum. At cornerback number 10, Damar Johnson. At strong safety number 6, Travis Butler. At free safety number 16, Cody Bush. And at place kicker number 42, James Blatt. And now here's South Aiken starting offense. At right tackle number 56, Parker Kniffer. And right guard number 63, Joey Simmons. At center number 75, Dawson Johnson. And left guard number 55, Jack McCarthy. And left tackle number 68, Caleb Eisenberg.
What?
We can hear you, but y'all can't hear us when we talk. We couldn't iron that out. So that's what we got.
All right. As long as the monitor works, I can do this without talking to the truck, and I'll take breaks as long as I can see it. If the monitor goes out, all bets are off. I'll just stay on the game, and we'll run commercials at halftime.
That's not what they're saying. They can hear you right now. So
Okay. Well,
we need to talk to you. So we'll get in touch with you.
They can hear both of us.
Which I guess I don't know.
okay. Since y'all can hear me, and I can't hear you.
We can't hear them.
No, we're not going to
Oh,
hear them. Yeah, I know. So here's how this works. I'm going to direct it from here, and as long as I can see the monitor, and we'll go to a break. If the monitor goes out, I can't take a break because I don't know when we're coming back in. So we're going to have to keep the monitor rolling. As long as that rolls.
we'll assume they're going to play the intro or whatever they do.
We're assuming, I'm sure you heard Ken just say that you're going to play some sort of intro that will give us the cue that, okay, we're going on the air, that we don't just start. We are live on the air, because I can hear you over this walkie-talkie right now.
Hand me my.
And good evening and welcome to Aiken Standard High School football. Another season, 2018, and we open on the stomping grounds of South Aiken High School, where tonight the Thoroughbreds play host to a outstanding program, Greenwood High School. They're led by the former South Aiken High School head coach and North Augusta High School head coach. Dan Pippin returns to South Aiken to take on his old team, his old stomping grounds. Got to talk to Coach Pippin shortly before the game, and I think he's got a few butterflies, Ken, as he's getting ready to play his old team. He was running around making the rounds, speaking to all the different people.
Yeah, I'm sure he does have a few butterflies and got probably a lot of fond memories here, and he had a good reputation when he was in Aiken County, and he's got a good reputation up in Greenwood too. Good football coach. When
he came to South Aiken had 2 seasons without winning a single football game, and sort of the doormat of the not just the region, pretty much of South Carolina high school football, and no respect whatsoever for South Aiken at the time. And he built that program to a point where they competed, they got to the playoffs. Don't believe we ever won a region. We never won a playoff game, as a matter of fact. Never beat Aiken while Dan Pippin was here. That's one of those hard things to swallow for him. He did go over to North Augusta and managed to win and beat Aiken over there. But at any rate, Dan, a successful football coach, as you alluded to. Dakota Watson, one of the products of Dan Pippin here at South Aiken, who now plays for the 49ers in his 9th season with the 49ers. And that means that Coach Pippin has been gone for 9 years.
Has it been 9 years already?
Well, no, it'd be 13 years because he went to Florida State. Add 4 years to the 9 years in the NFL. And that's how long Dan's been gone, because he left, I think, a season after Dakota left. So Dakota, it would be actually 12 years. So doing math in my head as we go along. So Greenwood lost a lot of seniors last year off their team, but so did South Aiken.
Yeah, they did. Both teams, when I talked to the coaches, both of them said we're young, okay? And they said we hope the other team is young too, right? Because we've got some inexperience, and we'll see how that plays out tonight.
Yeah, I asked Dan before the game, how's his team look? He said, well, he didn't sound too encouraged, but that's typical Dan Pippin. Talked to Coach Hamilton. Coach Hamilton said, well, we're going to see how it goes. We'll try to do the best we can. Typical coach speak from both of them. Eddie Buck, who always tells me the truth, my head coach when I was in high school at Aiken High School, Eddie Buck says South Aiken's going to be pretty good. So he wouldn't tell me if it wasn't true. You coaches always tell the truth, right, Coach?
Everybody always tells the truth with their coach, and that's for sure. And I'll tell you what else. South Aiken looks pretty good. They passed the eyeball test when I came into the stadium tonight and was taking a look at them. They've got some big, strong young men, a couple of them. One that just sticks out for me is number 8, Zaire Harrison. When we saw him when he first started here, he was tall, but he only weighed about 150 pounds. He is considerably bigger and stronger now that he's a senior. Looks very, very good.
And it's interesting, the quarterback for South Aiken is Jesse Sanders. Jesse, we saw a lot of last year. He was sort of the possession receiver, but had some speed as well. Made some big plays when we saw them last year on the Game of the Week. And Jesse now moves from receiver to quarterback. From what I understand, he's got speed, maybe run the ball a little bit better than he throws.
Yeah, looks good.
Who are our captains that are out there?
All right, for the visiting Greenwood football team, okay, and we've got the Eagles from just about an hour away from here, and they made it easy on me. Okay, number 1, Zayd Davis, who is a defensive back, senior. Number 2, Noah Emily, wide receiver, also a senior. Number 5, Chris Nelson, a defensive back and a senior. And their quarterback, Rhett Lindler, number 14. All right, and for South Aiken, we've got number 2, all right, who is Jordan Clayton, all right, the senior wide receiver. Number 7, the quarterback, Jesse Sanders, who you just talked about. Number 8 is the young man I talked about, Zaire Harrison, senior defensive lineman. And number 63, who is Joey Simmons, who was an all-county offensive lineman last year, and he's back this year. And those are 4 pretty good football players.
And when I talked to Coach Pippin, I asked him to make sure the captains were very close to each other in numbers, so it'd be easy on you.
It was.
And we appreciate him taking care of that.
And it's a great atmosphere out here tonight. The field looks terrific. I always like to look at that. They got some good grass out there, and they've got it decorated up just perfectly. All right, beautiful night, little breeze to keep us cool. Should get better as the night goes on. The student body from South Aiken has much more spirit than when we started doing this about 9 years ago, when they were not quite as successful as they are now.
Yeah, they're more into it. Colin Damaris picked Greenwood tonight. He was the only one of the pickers to pick it, and Colin, new to the Pick'ems contest, he'll find out what Cam Huffman found out at Aiken High. The Aiken High student body took a disliking to Cam in a fun kind of way, and I'm sure the South Aiken student body will be glad to see Colin when he shows up out here. But the T-Birds have entered the field just behind the Eagles of Greenwood, and we're about ready for the kickoff of the 2018 season.
And kicking off for Greenwood is Nice McCoy, their senior kicker. And deep for South Aiken, number 6, okay, Travis Butler, and number 23, who is A.J. Staley.
Kicks away, going to come up just short of the goal line. A little confusion back there, but they catch it around the 10 now. Struggling, not going to make it to the 20. Looks like they're going to down him at the 17-yard line. South Aiken, first possession of the season, 1st and 10 T-Birds.
And that's a nice kickoff by Greenwood and good coverage. Anytime you can keep them inside the 20-yard line, you're happy about that. You're going to start on what's it look like to you, about the 18?
I think he had him spotted at the 17. Maybe they moved him up to the 18. So we'll call it the 18. Jesse Sanders, his first snap as the number 1 QB for the T-Birds. Not a good start. He's going to have to fall on the ball. He's going to lose about 10 yards back inside the 10-yard line. A little auspicious beginning for South Aiken.
And both coaches, in fact, Chris Hamilton was quoted in the preview section in the paper, you know, that he figured there'd be some mistakes tonight. It's the opening ball game. You always get some mistakes. He didn't necessarily want one to start the ball game, however.
Little inside handoff, ball's on the ground. Greenwood's going to recover it, so South Aiken.
And he certainly didn't want that mistake.
Miscues for South Aiken on their first 2 plays. Greenwood takes over on the turnover around the 14-yard line. And not a good start.
Not a good start. Looked like a pretty good hole was opened up, all right, but there was a big hit by the linebacker, and ball came loose. Greenwood, great field position to start their first possession of the season. Number 14, Lindler, quarterback for the Eagles.
Rhett Lindler, Try not to call him Rhett Butler as the night wears on.
That's a good Southern name, isn't it?
It is. 2 split wide to the right, 2 to the left. Typical Pippen formation and a pass on the first play. I was going to say he normally throws a pass to one of his flankers, and he did.
Amari Coates, number 18, wide receiver, only a sophomore, and he makes the first reception of the season.
We saw Pippen last year play Midland Valley, and they opened with the exact same play, I do believe. Inside, no, he's going to keep. He's outside, going to skate into the end zone. Lindler has the first score of 2018. It goes to the Eagles of Greenwood. They're up 6-0.
And that was an outstanding. I'm assuming that he made a read on that play. Looked like it. Nice fake up in the middle by his running back, who was number 20, Traquan Jabaz. And everybody tackled him, but nobody tackled Lindler. Walks in untouched. Pretty impressive start.
South Aiken turnover on their first possession, their second play, and Greenwood on their second play puts 6 on the board, and they add the 7th. Greenwood leaves here early, 10:43 left to go in the first quarter, 7-0. We'll take a break. You're watching the Game of the Week on Aiken Standard Television.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point. Because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count a channel. That means that you can count on us to fight for you.
All right, we're back. Greenwood has kicked off after the touchdown. And South Aiken has a return to the 22-yard line where they take over 1st and 10, Thoroughbreds. See if Jesse Sanders can get things a little bit more under control. Not a good start. Snap over his head and a fumble. He moves this out to the 26-yard line, a gain of 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
And I think that's a good call. Quarterback gets the ball, picks up just a few, but that's the first positive play they've had. Get things in rhythm now as they go along. A couple of interesting things about both these teams. Dan Pippen, a little different defensive look this year than what he's done in the past. He's going to play a little 3-4 as well as his normal 4-man front.
A little fake, going to throw the ball. Throws it high, intended for Dallas McKeever. It looks like a flag is on the turf, and this may be interference on Greenwood.
I believe Malik Shabazz had him by the collar, and before the ball got there, good call by the referee.
That's a 15-yard walk-off. Goes up to the 41-yard line of South Aiken. So T-Breds get their first down via penalty, but they'll take that. 1st and 10. Sanders hands off this time to Ryans. Ryans gets spun around. He tries to break out of that, and that wasn't a good idea. He ends up losing a couple more yards. loss of about 3.
Chris Nelson and Kayid Carolina in on the tackle. Now he's in his 3-man defensive front. Spread offensive look by the Thoroughbreds.
Quick out. Hits his man. Going to pick up the yards that they lost on the first down. This will take them just inside the stick. We'll call it still the 41-yard line. So they pick up all those yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
And that on the tackle was KJ Makins, who Dan Pippen is very high on. Thinks he's going to be an outstanding player. Only a sophomore.
3 split wide to the left. Rolls that way. Now going to try to pick up the first down. Looking for a block. Nice run, but he's going to be a little short of the first down as he's out at the 47-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th down and 4 or 5. They spot him at the 46, so it'll be 4th down and 5.
And for a big man, quarterback that time, Jesse, he ran pretty daggone well. Showed some moves, quickness.
So our first punt of the season coming up. Gets it away. It's going to roll dead inside the 30 to 26. I think that'll do. The kicker is number 42, James, is that Platt?
James Platt, a junior kicker. Got the ball away. Not a particularly long kick. Got a little bit of a South Aiken roll with it.
So the 27-yard line is where Greenwood will take over. They started at the 14-yard line there in their first possession on a fumble by South Aiken. They took it in. They lead 7-0. This is their second possession. 8:45 left to go in the first quarter. Again, 2 split wide to the left, 2 to the right. 1 back in the backfield with Lindler. Man comes in motion, hands off to him. And on the carry was number 2.
Noah Emily. That play's reminiscent of some of the things we used to see North Augusta.
It's exactly what we used to see. Bring that man in motion on the jet sweep. Give it to him. Empty backfield this time. Now we got a whistle. All right, let's stop play for a second and they're ready to go. Pickup of 9 yards on that play. 2nd down and 1. Ball at the 36. Quick pass out. Short pass that's going to be caught and good for a first down as it gets up to the 39-yard line.
And that was a nice catch by Emily once again, and that was good defense by South Aiken. Made an immediate tackle. Very short pass, but just enough for the first down, like you said. Let's look for number 8 on the defense, Harrison.
Different formation.
He should be disruptive.
They were overloaded to the right side, tried to run it to that side, and South Aiken did a good job of jamming that up. Number 5, Desmond Lawrence, coming up and making the tackle.
Very good defensive play.
Gained a half a yard. 2nd down and 9.5. Looks like they'll go with a little bit of an unbalance to the left this time. Going to throw us a little screen pass. They were all, South Aiken was all over that.
That was a little unusual. He went really heavy overloaded to the short side of the field. Didn't give him much room and allowed the coverage to be right there with him. Now they're going to bring it to the far side of the field. That makes a little bit more room for him.
So they lost the half a yard. It's now 3rd down and 10. Now they come with 3 split wide to the right, 1 to the left. Running back in the backfield with Lindler. Drops back, looks left, going over the middle, has a man out there, but he overshoots him at the 40-yard line. So South Aiken's defense rises to the occasion. Punting situation for the Eagles on 4th and 10.
And I believe Aaron Mazel, number 45, got a hand on that ball and tipped it away a little bit too. And he was a linebacker with underneath coverage. He did a nice job.
End over end, that's going to come up short, but it takes a hop and goes right by the South Aiken receiver. He picks it up and steps out of bounds at the 16-yard line, so not a very good position. Who was that fielding it for?
That was Butler, Travis Butler, number 6.
An official timeout on the field.
Got a timeout. And they're going to send the players to the sidelines. So while we have a break, we'll take a break with them. You're watching the Aiken Standard Game of the Week. Greenwood leads 7-0.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, you kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me?
All right, they came back quickly. South Aiken's first pass was incomplete. Wasn't going to go anywhere. It's a good thing he dropped the ball, Coach. Going to keep. And this is what we expected from Justice Sanders. He moves up to the 31-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down. They'll move the chains. 1st and 10, South Aiken.
And you know, he's an excitable quarterback. Likes to run the football. In the pregame warm-ups and everything like that, he was bouncing all over the place. Got a lot of energy. That's a nice run.
A screen pass. Dropped the ball. He wasn't going to go anywhere. He was
well covered.
Well covered. That was Ryan's, the intended receiver.
And Zay Hill, number 7, right there. One of the linebackers for Greenwood.
So 2nd down and 10. Three split wide to the right, 1 to the left. Back in the backfield. Fakes it, keeps it. Sanders has some strength as he barrels forward. He picks up about 5 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, he's a big, strong quarterback. He goes about 6'4". Looks like he's got to be somewhere around 200, 210.
He picked up 6 to the 37-yard line. So 3rd down and 4. 2 backs in the backfield. Hands off. This is Ryan's trying to get outside. He turns in. He's going to be smothered at 35. He'll lose a couple of yards. It'll bring up 4th down. Another punting situation for South Aiken.
And Greenwood strung that play out very, very well. Couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
So Platt comes back on the field for South Aiken.
And Greenwood should get decent field position based on the first punt. From the look of things, I don't think Greenwood will be able to receive this punt. I don't think it's going to go that far.
This is a little better, end over end. Let's see what kind of kick he gets. Not too much of a hop, stays right there. at the 35. He goes from the 35 to the 35. I think they're going to spot him at the 34. That's a 31-yard punt. And the Eagles of Greenwood take over with the lead, 7-0, 4:59 left to go here in the first quarter.
Both teams seem to be settling in defensively. Okay, Greenwood has not been able to move the ball since they got that great field position to start the ball game, but they do have a 7-0 lead. That's a good place to be for them. One of the interesting things about this game tonight, South Aiken has a 15-game unbeaten streak here at home. Okay.
Really?
Yes, they've not lost in 15 games.
I was not aware of that.
And when Dan Pippin, I think you mentioned this earlier, Dan Pippin, when he first came here, they had lost 29 in a row. They were on the other side of the coin.
And that was period.
His first game, they won, okay? So he broke that streak. He'd like to break this one here tonight, and go where South Aiken says, no, Dan, you're not going to do that.
If you remember, we had them Greenwood at Midland Valley last year, and Greenwood handed Midland Valley a pretty sound beating.
Yeah, I think it was 34-0 or something like that. 34-7 maybe.
Pick up a 6 on that carry. Second down and 4. Really second down and 3.5. Need to get to about the 44.5-yard line to pick up a first down.
Formation into the boundary again.
Going to hand off and come back, and he's smothered behind the line of scrimmage. Big loss.
Boy, Greenwood has tried that twice, both times very poor. Haven't gotten anything. Left side of that defensive line for South Aiken has just smothered it. And that includes number 13, Jabez Oliphant, who is only a sophomore.
So the loss of 3, third down and 7. And 2 tight ends bring a man in motion. Fake, quarterback going to keep. Has a little room to run out there. He's going to pick up the first down as he gets to the 46, call it the 47. Greenwood will move the chains.
Same thing that we may see a little bit later on, but that was Jalen Tolbert for Greenwood, number 17, a quarterback. All right, now sophomore quarterback. I believe South Aiken has a sophomore quarterback also that they've got a little package set for, and we may see him later on in the game.
Looks like we got a flag, and it's going to be against Greenwood, so they're going to walk this back, repeat the down called holding. Coach Pippin, you can see him out there yelling. Sure he didn't agree with the call.
I'm sure he didn't.
So the penalty negates the pickup of 10 yards with the 10-yard walk-off. So they're back to 3rd and 7.
And they go back with their normal offense.
They bring 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. 1 running back.
Rhett Lindler back in at quarterback.
He'll throw it down the field. He's got his man over the middle. Nice catch, nice run inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10 for Greenwood.
And I'll tell you what, that was a nice pass. Zayd Davis, okay, the senior receiver, on the reception, right over the middle, and that time the linebacker couldn't get his hand on it before he got his hand on that thing. And nice throw that time. Lindler.
This time straight handoff, dive up the middle. He's going to get a big gain of about 9 yards, it looks like. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 1.
And that's Traquan Chavez, their number 1 running back. Nice pickup, 9 yards. And on the stop for South Aiken, number 16, Kobe Bush, safety.
Ran right at him. Lindler keeps. He's going to get on the right side. He'll pick up the first down. He's going to get inside the 10 and run out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. It's going to bring up 1st and goal. Last time Greenwood was down here,
another flag.
Touchdown, but there is a flag. at the 11. South Aiken is indicating it is against Greenwood.
Once again, very well executed play. Quarterback stuck the ball in the belly of the running back, rode him pretty well, pulled it back out, and was able to run outside and pick up the first. But it's coming back.
I believe that was a legal block in the back. So negate that run. May lose a few more yards than where he started. It takes it back to the 21. Bring up second down and 5.
Outback Steakhouse, Marco's Pizza, Shane's Rib Shack, Billy Joel's, Luke's Barbecue.
Good crowd here tonight. It's a beautiful night for August. We're used to roasting in a press box somewhere and being soaking and wet. It is very nice.
It's getting more comfortable as the sun goes down.
If you got time, you ought to come out here. It doesn't get much nicer than this. Nice breeze blowing. Timeout on the field. Greenwood, we'll talk about it. We'll take a timeout with them. We'll be right back.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point. Because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
All right, Greenwood out of the
I
timeout,
always
ready to
ask
go.
myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable, and every day that we represent our clients?
And snap back to Lindler. Lindler throws outside, out of the timeout. I believe that'll be enough for the first down. And another flag. So Greenwood, their own worst enemy if this goes against Greenwood. Play picked up yardage to the 13. They're giving a sideline warning to Greenwood, so that won't be a walk-off. That's a warning, and there will be no penalty. The ball is spotted at the 13-yard line. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10.
I see about 10 coaches over there. One of them's got to be the get-back coach. I tell those kids and the coaches to get back, stay off the field.
And Lindner looks to the sidelines to get the play. He's got 3 split wide to the left, way wide, 1 to the right. Turns around, hands it off on the dive. Hit hard, but he still keeps his feet moving. He's going to pick up 3 yards to the 10-yard line. Bring up second down and 7.
Harrison in on the play. Oliphant in on the play. A couple other their thoroughbred linemen. Good defensive stop.
Stands up, throws it to the receiver. Good catch. They hang on. South Aiken hangs on, but he's able to spin, get 2 more yards.
Pretty nice defensive play that time by number 20, Braden Briatico.
Ball spotted at the 8-yard line, so it's 3rd down and 5. Big defensive play for South Aiken here. The way the offense has been moving the ball. They need to keep Greenwood out of the end zone. And that may be offsides.
I believe it is.
South Aiken.
Little anxious.
If it is, it's half the distance to the goal. Still won't be a first down.
Going to make it a little easier.
Yep, offsides against South Aiken is the call. 4 yards, so 3rd down and 1.
Means 3rd down. Let's make some noise for the defense.
Last time Greenwood was down here, they scored a touchdown on a quarterback keeper keeping the ball to his left on a fake inside handoff. Let's see if they go back with that.
They may not get this play off. Clock is running down. I think they're going to wait.
I think they were just, well,
here they go.
Lining up. It's hit. Yeah, that's going to be, that'll be close. They're spotting him at the 4, so he'll be short of the yard of the first down. It'll be 4th and 1, and the quarter comes to an end. So we've got a time out on the field. In between, we can run to 3 commercials. You're watching Aiken Standard's Game of the Week. Greenwood leads 7-0.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to county challenge. That means that you can count on us to fight for you.
One quarter in the book. South Aiken trails Greenwood here in the stomping grounds 7-0, and it was a first series turnover by South Aiken that led to the Greenwood score. Neither team lighting it up, but Greenwood is knocking on the door here.
They are knocking on the door, as you said, and this will be a big play for South Aiken if they can stop them here. And I got to believe that Dan Pippin's going to go for the touchdown. I don't think he'll be going for a field goal down here this early in the. No, I think he's got to go for it. Both teams have played decent defense. Okay. Big play on the pass from Greenwood set this drive up. They've had a couple of penalties that have hurt them. But it's early in the ball game, but I think it's a big play.
All right, Greenwood has their play. Big play, as coach has alluded to. 4th and 1. South Aiken come up with a big stop here. Turn them over on downs. Keep them out of the end zone with no points. See if they can get something started on the offensive side.
And Greenwood brings in an extra back as a blocker, number 41. Looks like a stout young man.
Hands off. Going to get outside. Going to pick up more yardage than he needed and get the touchdown. Greenwood's on the board again. First play of the second quarter. And they lead 13-0, extra point coming up.
And that was Traquan Jabaz. And he's their running back, obviously. But like I say, they brought in the extra blocker, and that's just what they needed. He was able to get to the corner, and nobody touched him. Well-executed play. Back on to try the extra point is going to be McNeese. Niece McCoy. There was some movement.
Flags down. Did he even kick it?
No. And to be honest with you, that doesn't make any difference. Okay, if he can make it from the 10, he can make it from the 15.
Shouldn't make any difference.
No.
Unless you push it or hook it. It's what you do in golf, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes. A lot of times.
All right, redo. Extra point try. And that's plenty long enough and plenty good.
Yep.
Greenwood leads 14-0 here early in the second quarter. 11:53, only 7 seconds left or off the clock here in the second. We'll keep it right here.
Okay.
And talk a little bit about what do you think we need to do here.
Well, first of all, I'd like to give a heads up there or a shout out to Isaiah Adams, okay, the holder, okay. On the first extra point, it was not a particularly good snap, and he did a nice job. And on this one, same thing, puts the ball down perfectly. We always talk about the kicker, but you better have a good holder too, or the timing gets all screwed up. I think South Aiken's got to make a move here. So far, they have not been able to sustain any drives. The only positive things that we've seen really is the quarterback running the football. They've got to start making something happen on offense. So far, the defense for Greenwood has pretty much put the clamps on them. Sanders has had a couple nice runs, but so far, not really sharp offensively.
And South Aiken offensively, really about the only big play they've had is Jesse Sanders on the keeper. And not a whole lot going on there. They're going to have to spread it around and get some things going. All right, Greenwood ready to kick off, leading 14-0.
Butler and Staley back to receive the kick.
Caught that around the 6-yard line. Butler thinks about it inside, comes back out, and going to pick up good yardage over to 30 to the 34. T-Bread, 1st and 10, Chandler Law Firm first down.
And that's a nice return by Butler. Good field position to start this drive.
Mark the ball at the 32-yard line. Ryans in the backfield. He's going to lead the blocking for Sanders. Sanders going to get out of bounds just past the 36 or just past the 35. Now they're going to actually say he stepped out of bounds before he reached the 35 at the 34. So modest gain, 2 yards, 2nd down and 8. Three split wide to the left, 1 to the right. Man comes in motion, fakes the handoff, going to keep up the middle.
Big game.
Sanders going to pick up the first down as he gets out to the 44-yard line. And again, that seems to be the big play for South Aiken.
Well, coming into this season, Coach Hamilton did indicate that the quarterback would be running the football a good bit, okay, and he's done that so far tonight, and effectively. Now here's the package that he has involved
for the Wildcat.
For number 18, the sophomore, E.J. Hickson.
So Hickson going to throw it outside. A lot of Greenwood players out there, but a very good run by Dallas McKeever. Get it outside and pick up positive yardage. It looked like a loss when he first caught it. And there's a flag, which that may have had something to do with gaining yardage.
I don't believe South Aiken's had a penalty yet.
They had the offsides on that last drive of Greenwood. Holding is the call against South Aiken.
That's a killer. That's too bad.
So that'll be a 10-yard walk-off. They'll repeat first down, but it's going to be 1st and long, about 18 yards.
Hickson, sophomore quarterback.
He's got 3 split wide to the right. Comes the man in motion, and another ball over the quarterback's head. He catches it and comes down wisely at the 25. So bring up 2nd down and quite a ways.
You know, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. We know that the coaches expect to have some bad things happen in the opening ball game. You hope it doesn't, but it always does. Okay, we've had 2 bad snaps, and that's devastating to the offense.
2nd down and roughly 30 yards.
Sanders back in at quarterback.
He's going to look, now he's going to run out of that. He had some receivers to his right. They were going long. I think he wanted to throw it, but he decided better of it and does pick up a pretty sizable gain up to the 37-yard line. That makes it 3rd down and a little more manageable. 3rd down and 16. And a roll to his right. Going to hit the receiver, McKeever, short.
Good job.
Gets a few of yards back, but it's going to bring up 4th down and long. 4th and about 11, we'll call it 4th and 10. And that'll bring Platt back on to punt for his 3rd punt of the game.
In on that tackle was Chris Nelson and Jaria Martin. Pretty good defense. That was a nice throw, nice catch. They had a lot to pick up, though. Uh-oh, now we're in trouble.
Gonna have to pick this up and
now we're in big trouble.
Blocked it out of bounds. That was a good job by the Greenwood player of just hustling and getting back there. It was Chris Nelson. He didn't give up and concede and jumped up in there and blocked the quick kick, as it was. And that was a good job also by Platt. It wasn't his fault the ball was snapped over his head.
We've seen 3 of those so far tonight, and I guarantee you they'll be working on that tomorrow.
So the 24-yard line, Greenwood gets another break deep into South Aiken territory. Got 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, got a tight end to the left. Gonna go on the dive.
Good defense, good defense.
Stop it right at the line of scrimmage. May have lost a half a yard. 2nd down and 10. We'll call it 2nd and 11.
And that was Oliphant. Okay, he was in on that. Okay. Also, Braden Briatico. Also think Desmond Lawrence was in there. Bunch of them.
Same formation. Gonna look to his left, throws a pass high. Too tall to be caught, out of bounds. Brings up 3rd down and 11. Another big 3rd down play for the South Aiken defense.
I'll tell you what, Noah Emily, it's up in the air. He's had to really, it looked like he's going up for a basketball rebound. He caught a couple of those already, but that one, defender was right there, knocked it loose.
All right, 3 split wide to the right, 1 to the left. 1 back in the backfield with Lindler. Brett Lindler looks to the sideline, gets the call. Drops back, looking to his left again, going downfield, got his man down there.
Oh, that's going to be a problem. Oh.
Well, they're not going to call it. He put his hands up when the, I don't know. That's one of those you could watch on replay and say, yeah, maybe not. But South Aiken may have caught a break on that. Brings up 4th down, and I believe at this position of the field that Greenwood's going to go for it.
Why not? Even if they don't make it, they're not given very good field position.
South Aiken is struggling moving the football. I think Coach Pippin wants to talk about it. So they're going to have a timeout. We've got a timeout on the field. We got time for a 30-second break. We'll be right back.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count on Chandler. That means that you can count on us to fight.
Back at the stomping grounds where South Aiken trails 14-0 to Greenwood. 8:31 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. A fumble early in the game led to Greenwood's first score. Greenwood now being held 4th down and 11 after a blocked punt. Throws this up, this is out of bounds, incomplete. South Aiken takes over on downs. Good defensive effort by South Aiken.
pretty heady play, I think, by the quarterback, and I'm sure Dan Pippen, or his offensive coordinator, said, hey, if you're going to take a sack, just throw it out of bounds and we'll keep them back, you know, just don't give them a few more extra yards. Starting on the 25 isn't bad, but so far they haven't shown the ability to sustain a drive down the field. We'll have to see what happens here.
Greenwood, I'm sure Coach Pippen is thinking, just don't make mistakes, and we're probably in pretty good shape based on what we've seen so far from South Aiken. Little dive play, that's going to pick up yardage. They move the pile, gets them to the 30-yard line.
That's some movement by the offensive line. Also strong run by number 22, Niquel Ryans, junior running back. The offensive line coming in has some experience for South Aiken. They were expected to be able to control the line of scrimmage against a lot of people. So far, they have not done that against Greenwood. But on that play, that was a pretty good surge.
All right, a little problem on the sidelines with the yard marker. Don't know what that could possibly have been, why he was stuck and couldn't move. But it's going to be 2nd down and 6 after a 4-yard gain by Ryans. Going to go with Ryans again. Ryan, this time, going to find it tough going. He may have picked up a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 5. Now what South Aiken has run here is the fake handoff and Sanders keeping it and running up the middle to see if Greenwood has made an adjustment for that. He sends Ryan's in motion and he keeps anyway. He's going to pick up the 1st down.
Good call. Good call. Did you get a message from him or something?
That's what they've done every time. After a while, you start going, okay, that's what they're doing. Apparently, Greenwood did not make the adjustment. So they moved the sticks. Channel Law Firm 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Go back to Ryans. Ryans breaks a tackle, gets outside, going across the 50. South Aiken down in Greenwood territory to the 45-yard line. A pickup of 17 yards. That's South Aiken's biggest play of the game so far.
And that's what they need, a little spark, and he gave it to him right then. Good surge by offensive line and a nice run.
South Aiken going quick, too. Going to try to get outside this Ryans. Ryans going to pick up a yard or two as he dives forward to the 43. Pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8.
They only got 2, but I kind of like the fact that they got up and snapped the ball right away, trying to get ahead of Greenwood.
I really think if Sanders had kept it, I think it was a read. If he kept it, he could have run for a ways.
There might have been movement there. That's what I thought, yeah. And that used to drive me crazy as an offensive coach when you have a wide receiver that jumps the gun. Okay, I mean he doesn't have to do that.
Yep. False start on the offense. Going to be a 5-yard walk-off, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 13. Two split wide to the left, 2 to the right. Ryan's in the backfield next to Sanders. Going to be sacked.
Whoa.
Stood up to throw and got in his face. That's going to be a loss of about 6 yards.
Cahill, Carolina made that sack. Okay, busted right up the middle from his inside linebacker position, or maybe he's lined up there as a tackle. Yeah. Defensive tackle.
So the loss.
Great pressure.
The loss backs South Aiken into their own territory here. And brings up 3rd down and about 18. Drops back. Looks over the middle, throws a nice pass, but too high. McKeever was in the slot open, but he couldn't find him in there.
Good pass protection that time. Plenty of time to throw the football, just a little high. McKeever a little frustrated, feels like he was open, but that ball was thrown a little high for him. He doesn't look like the tallest receiver, right?
No. So 4th down, and that brings Platt back into the ball game.
Good snap this time. Oh, there's a boomer.
Away.
Oh, fumble.
And that's I'm not so sure that North Augusta didn't get it back. No, they're going to say South Aiken recovered it, muffed the punt inside the 5-yard line. I'm sure Coach Pippin will say, son, you have to back off of that punt. But what a good punt. We've been talking about he's averaging about 30 yards a punt.
That was a good one.
That one was about 50 yards.
And when they're in the film session tomorrow, that kid is going to get a talking to, I think, because once he muffed it, he sort of just laid there. You got to get on that ball.
6-yard line for South Aiken. Channel Law Firm, 1st and goal.
Just what they needed. Just what they needed. A little break.
Sanders keeps up the middle down to the 2-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 2.
Tell you what, he's going to be hard to stop down here, I believe. I think they'll knock this one in.
I certainly would go with your horse here. And we got a timeout. Greenwood is going to talk this over and run to the sidelines. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're watching Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Good to see Jeff Wallace in a commercial and being healthy.
I'm going to have to check with Jeff on Sunday at church. Okay, he goes to the same church I go to, and tell you what, he's getting a lot of airtime here tonight.
Jeff, former Aiken Standard guy, living the good life now.
I still love his columns on Sundays in the Aiken Standard. He's got a memory of his childhood like I can't believe.
Jeff remembers things that we all go, really? You remember that? All right, 2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line. Greenwood has talked it over. I'm sure he said the quarterback's going to keep it. You're going to have to stop the quarterback. Let's see what South Aiken does. They moved him in, loaded up on the right side.
Oh, yeah, gave him a
He's
little help.
Follow the right side, got a path into the end zone. Touchdown, Jesse Sanders. Touchdown, South Aiken, as they get one back. They gave one away to Greenwood early, and Greenwood
just
gives it back to him.
I'll tell you what, that was an old-fashioned football play right there. Student body right. Quarterback or the tailback or the single wing back, whatever they used to run, and everybody just leads him to the left. He walks in untouched.
You're right. If ever there was a student body right, that was it. All right, extra point try to pull this to within a touchdown. Kick is up. The kick is good. South Aiken pulls to within a touchdown, 14-7. You're watching the Aiken Standard Game of the Week. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be right back.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
All right, South Aiken cuts the deficit in half, 4:54 left to go in the 2nd quarter. And we've got a ball game. Greenwood up 14-7 on South Aiken. South Aiken fumbled the 2nd play of the game deep in Greenwood territory. Greenwood scored on their 2nd play. Now South Aiken recovers a muffed punt at the 6-yard line. They take it in on the 2nd play themselves, and it's 14-7.
And James Platt gets a lot of credit for that touchdown and the extra point.
It's going to be picked up at the 10-yard line. Looking for a seam to get through. Going to get outside, pick up yardage across 30. Stepped out of bounds around to 33, it looks like. And Greenwood will take over. Channel Law Firm, 1st and 10 at the 33.
You know, that was a pretty slick run by KJ Mankins. All right, and as I said earlier, Dan Pippin is very high on that sophomore. He believes he's going to be a big-time player before he's through, and that was a pretty nifty little run. Really picked his time very well, shifted gears, and picked up a pretty good run.
There was a flag on the return at the 28-yard line, and it's going to be a push in the back on Greenwood. So they're going to walk it off 10 yards back to the 18. So big break for South Aiken, puts Greenwood in the hole. Channel Law Firm, 1st and 10 from the 18.
A little momentum now for this South Aiken team. Make a stop here, you never know. They could get the second touchdown right back.
So Lindler leads his team back out. 2 split wide to the right, got a tight end to his right, and a wide receiver to his left. Almost drops the football, now throws it up, and very fortunate that his wide receiver able to make a great grab.
I'll tell you what, they were lucky twice there on that play. Got away with it, okay. Snap was a little high, almost dropped it, threw it up. Looked like it could have been knocked away or maybe picked off even.
Picked up 11 yards to the 29. Channel Law Firm, 1st and 10. 2 split wide to the left, 1 to the right. Tight end on the right side. Handoff as he follows that tight end, finds a big hole and gets big yardage out to near midfield. They're going to say he's down at the 48-yard line. They'll move the chains again. Channel Law Firm, 1st and 10.
And Shabazz with a nice run. Okay. Saving tackle made by number 48. Okay, Dante Allen. He was all that was left between that receiver or that running back, I should say, and a touchdown.
Same formation. Stands up, throws to his left. Nice catch. No, they're going to say he dropped it. I thought he had the catch. That was to Emily again, and Emily could not hold on to it. As I say, it's incomplete. They go back to the line of scrimmage. All right, 2nd down and 10. Greenwood 2 yards short of midfield. Fake the handoff to Shabazz, now trying to get outside. Does a good job of at least breaking a tackle and getting back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe picked up a yard to the 49. And South Aiken going to call a timeout. 3:23 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. They're going to try to preserve some time and see if they can get this ball back.
Don't blame them, because they're going to have to kick off to start the 2nd half. So maybe they can get something going here, tie this thing up before the half.
3rd down and 9 coming up. That gives Greenwood a chance to at least talk it over. But they seem to have what we expected coming in. They're having a hard time settling in and running their offense. They've got the 1 short touchdown on the turnover, and then they had a fairly decent drive to pick up the 2nd touchdown. South Aiken, of course, on the turnover inside the 10, gets their touchdown. Both teams not moving the football real well.
Yeah, and I think both defenses are maybe a little ahead of the offenses right now at this time of the season, first game. They've got some pretty good defensive players on both sides of the football here.
New quarterbacks, new running backs, new wide receivers.
You know, and I think that's true of a lot of teams in Aiken this season. We've got a lot of unknowns. Don't know how things are going to work out for a lot of our teams. A lot of new faces.
All right, 3rd down and 9. Greenwood has talked about it, brings a man in motion, goes on a double reverse, and that's not going to, well, he almost squirted through. He got across the 50 to the 46-yard line. That's a pickup of 6 yards where it looked like he was going to be down back at the line of scrimmage. Actually giving 5 on the play. It's 4th down and 4. And Greenwood's lining up like they're going to go for it. Now this would be interesting. This is the old Dan Pippin days at North Augusta. He's just trying to draw him off sides. And waiting, he's got another timeout left. Or he'll take the 15, he'll take the 5-yard penalty of a delay of game.
Good discipline by South Aiken. Heard a number of the fans yelling, "Don't move, don't move." And they didn't. That's a good job.
So the ball comes back to the 49, Greenwood territory in punting situation. So South Aiken preserved the clock. And of course, Greenwood able to run some of that clock off by going through that process. Punts away.
Elijah Gilmer on the punt.
And punt bounces back.
Good coverage.
Good punt, good bounce for South Aiken. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. South Aiken takes over Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here in the first half. And that would be plenty of time. However, the offense doesn't seem to have a whole lot of big plays. They have to break one here that they haven't seen. Of course, Ryans did have a big run for about 17 yards on the last drive. And here comes Ryans again. Be knocked down at the 25. He'll pick up 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
That's not a bad start. And I think that was AJ Staley on the carry.
Oh, nice pass to the 34-yard line. Catch made. That's going to be good enough for a 1st down. And they're going to not give him his forward progress. Back it up to the 33.
Devion Burnett on the catch, and that was a nice touch that Sanders had on the ball there. Well thrown.
Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. Clock runs less than 150. Drops back, looking over the middle. Going to come back, throw a short pass. Hit hard. Number 3 is Ryan Mays. Made a good catch and turned upfield. Got positive yardage out over the 40 to the 41. That's a pickup of 7 yards, 7.5. Call it 2nd down, 2.5. He got out of bounds to stop the clock. Ryans comes in motion, empty backfield. Not going to keep. Finds a hole, gets out over the 50 to the 45, down to the 41-yard line. Big play by Jesse Sanders. Cleaned out the backfield, spread the field, and he took off. So Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 at the 41, and South Aiken is in business. Trying to have their first sustained drive of the game.
Nice run by Sanders.
Sanders drops back, looks down the middle, throws it up for grabs. He's got a man down there, and he can't pull it in. Actually had a step, and that's a tough one. I think it was Devontae Burnett. Or Devoyne Burnett. That would have been a big one.
That ball was on the money.
109 to halftime. So South Aiken needs to shake it off, come back, have a play, at least pick up some yardage. Got 3 split to the left. Now going to step up. He's got room to run. He can get the 1st down if he can get a block. He gets one over the 30-yard line to the 29. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. South Aiken on the move. 1:01 left to go in the half. Unfortunately, we don't know how many timeouts South Aiken has used, and if they have anything left.
E.J. Hickson in the game. I think I saw Sanders ask for one play off, and he got it.
And that's a good pass, good run. Mays gets it inside the 25, 24-yard line. Pick up a 5, 2nd down and 5.
Hickson is going to stay on.
Fumbled it at his feet and able to pick it up, but he's going to lose yardage. Lose about 3 yards. So South Aiken uses their timeout. It's the last one. We're not sure. 32.3 seconds to go until halftime.
It looks like Jesse Sanders got helmets back on and going back into the ball game.
At this point in the field, your 3rd down, 8. I would imagine they're going to have 2 plays to get down the field. There's no need to punt when you're down this deep. And I don't know that they have a kicker that can kick a field goal in excess of 40 yards.
No, I would agree with you. They've got 2 plays to pick up the first or score. Are they going to run your favorite play and let the quarterback run it this time, or throw it?
Right, and you know, since you got 2 downs to play with, that'd probably be a good idea. Greenwood hadn't shown an ability to stop that. He's got Ryan in the backfield with him, does Sanders. 2 split wide to the left, 2 to the right. Big play. Sets him down. Takes a snap. Going to look to his left. Now he's going to come back to his right. He's got some room. Now he's got a man wide open. Mays. Nice catch at the 7-yard line. He took a heck of a lick, but he held on. Did Mays. 28 seconds left.
That was a tremendous hit, and I think we're going to get a penalty.
And he's gone to the sidelines. Flag on the field at 6. They may be leading with the crown, and they're cracking down on that in every phase of the game. Mays has gone to the sidelines and sitting down about 3 yards off the sideline. Give him credit for getting up and moving off. What a catch.
Catch was great. The throw was good.
Personal foul against Greenwood. That's got to be leading with the head on that hit. Defenseless receiver.
You know, and I know in certain levels of football, you cannot hit the defenseless receiver like that. Certainly they're, you know, taking care of that at the pro level and the college level. Don't know if they've got an emphasis on that in the high school level, but certainly there was a unnecessary roughness or a personal foul called on that one.
Clock's running. 1st and goal from the 3. And Jesse keeps barreling to get in. They're going to mark him down at the 1. And South Aiken's going to take his last time out with 8 seconds left. It looked like he got in the end zone, but the official on the side spotted him on like the 2-inch line. They are just outside, and I think they're going to get another mouthful of Jesse Sanders here. As they both go to the sidelines to talk it over. That was a heck of an effort by Jesse Sanders to keep pushing. I thought he got in.
I'll tell you what, he's a load as a quarterback running up there.
A little Tebow-like, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's got some big legs. Looks like he's got a little bit of a limp going on there, too, as he goes back out. I think we're going to have student body right again, or they may shift South Aiken players telling the fans to get loud.
Well, they got a couple blocking backs in there for him extra.
He's going to follow him in. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, South Aiken. 14-13, 2.7 seconds left to go in the half. South Aiken comes all the way back from trailing 14-0 to within 1 point of tying this game at halftime. What an effort on offense.
That was a great effort, and that brought a little excitement to these guys. I hope they can carry it over to the second half. All right. Ethan Yalman's a sophomore kicker in for the extra point.
Spot is down, kicks up, kick is good. South Aiken comes all the way back to tie it. 2.7 seconds left until halftime. And we have a brand new game, 14 all, Greenwood and South Aiken. And of course, we got 2.7 seconds. Stranger things have happened in 2.7 seconds, haven't they, Coach?
Yes, indeed. But I think we're going to just go to halftime here. I don't think we're going to see anything too strange. I'd be surprised if they even kick it deep.
I wouldn't think so. I think you roll this thing out there. Of course, if you just roll it out there short, they'll fall on it and get a play. So might as well kick it down the field. Greenwood is a lot like South Aiken in the sense that they don't seem to be home run threats. But both teams did have two sustained drive each after scoring on turnovers. So pretty evenly matched teams, which is what we expected here tonight.
In the first half, a little bit sluggish in the first few minutes, but we got ourselves a nice ball game right now, and that's what we expected right there.
Gracious, I don't know whether the clock, but they run the clock out.
That's done.
I'm sure Coach Pippin's going to say that we got one play. I wouldn't disagree with him. Let's see what they say. South Aiken should be hauling to the locker room.
Well, they're going to get the ball in the second half to start. I think they'll just.
The official's going to talk about it. There was time left on the clock. As I looked at it, it went ahead and ran out. I think it was at least a second, maybe 0.8 when I looked at the clock. And the officials will discuss it. South Aiken, I think, knows that it was some time left, too. So they may have at least one down here for Greenwood to do something. And now they're going to, they don't have microphones to talk to us up here. So they're going to yell. Say, put a second back on there.
2 seconds. No, wait a minute. Isn't that impossible?
Well, I would say, you know.
There were only 2 seconds left when they kicked off, isn't it?
They did exactly what I said don't do. Yeah, they're putting 2 seconds on, which really doesn't matter. Greenwood doesn't have a timeout. 2 seconds is all you got. It's one play, so it doesn't matter whether it's 1, 2. It's all the same. But should have kicked it a little harder over that front lines of defense and take your chances to run the clock out. But I'm sure South Aiken will put their hands guys deep.
Aiken Electronics has been serving Aiken and surrounding areas since 1988, providing both residential and commercial security and interactive alarm systems, home theaters, and AV systems. Visit them on Facebook at AikenElectronics.us.
All right, one play. And under pressure, he's going to get away. He's scrambling around. Going to stop, but he's going to throw. Now you got to have people downfield. And here comes another South Aiken player, and he's going to run. Let's see if he fakes a throw down here in the middle of the field. And down goes Lindler. Lindler picks up about 30 yards on that play. And that'll add to his stats here at halftime, but pretty gutsy by Brett Lindler there to pick up some plays. He showed some scrambling ability.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Okay, good way to end the half.
All right.
Wasn't boring.
A good first half. We started out a little slow, but both teams seemed to pick it up a little, and both teams showed us a little bit of offense and sustained drives.
14-14 at the half. We got a ball game for the second half. Like that.
Sounds good to us. All right. Well, it's halftime. I suppose the band will come out and play, and perhaps we'll get to watch a little bit of that. But we'll take a break, and when we come back, South Aiken High School's marching band will take the field. And when you return to the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion and representing your interests. That's what it means to count on Chandler. That means that you can count on us to fight. That's it.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count on Chandler. That means that you can count on us to fight for you.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Back here at the Stomping Grounds, we've got a tie ball game, 14-all, Greenwood and South Aiken. The South Aiken High School Marching Band is taking the field. Let's enjoy some of their halftime show here. in the high school marching band. And I'd usually say at this point, under the direction of somebody, but I don't know who it is right this minute. We'll find that out too. It's the first game of the season.
That's
so
right.
We're still struggling to get all of our chips together. We do have some scores here at halftime, and we would like to share those with you now of other teams playing around the area, which is be as good a time as any. You want to ask me, just go by a list, and I'll come up with them if I can find them.
Well, this one right off the bat intrigued me. Thompson from Georgia, pretty good football team playing North Augusta.
Yeah, you know, and Thompson, these Georgia schools, we don't know. We're going to see Grovetown next week. Grovetown will be at Midland Valley. We're going to see them the next week after at North Augusta. And Thompson showing that they're pretty good. They're up 25-6 on North Augusta at the half.
Thompson is ahead?
Thompson is ahead.
That well, that surprises me a little bit, but as I said earlier, some of these teams in our county this year are unknown, and even in the preview section in the newspaper, the coach over at North Augusta wouldn't commit who's going to be the quarterback, who's going to be the running back, who's going to be doing this, who's going to be doing that. A lot of new people in there, and it may take a little while before they get everything going together. Okay, so Thompson's on top right now. Maybe North Augusta can come back. It's a home game. Midland Valley is at Lakeside, Georgia.
Yeah, this is a pretty good ball game. Lakeside's up 20-14 at halftime. So don't know that much about Lakeside. Like you said, Midland Valley.
Both of those have tough
Young,
both of those teams have tough
healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point. Because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count a channel. That means that you can count on us to fight.
From 10:30 to 1:30 at South Aiken High School.
All right. Kenny Brace, Ed Gerardo here at halftime. It's 14-14. And I say take 2. We're just going to assume that nobody heard what we just did and start from the beginning here. You were asking me about?
We were talking about Midland Valley, and they're playing Lakeside from over in Georgia.
Well, I think we start with the Thompson and North Augusta is what we were talking about. And
okay.
Thompson, again, we don't know that much about the Augusta schools, but we hear about them, and we hear they're pretty good. They must be pretty good. They're up 25-6 at the half. Next week, we get to see an Augusta school. Georgetown will be at Midland Valley, and then the third week, we're having North Augusta play host to Grovetown. So we'll know a lot about Grovetown before it's over with.
Well, we're going to see some good things about both of our teams that are playing tonight, too. Thompson was 10-2 last year, okay, and they're a 5A team over there in Georgia. All right, and the Bulldogs, coached by Michael Youngblood.
I knew he was in trouble.
They've got
I didn't really know
that
it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in
last year
trouble.
playing for
His right
Evans,
coronary
I believe,
artery was
okay? And then he transferred over to
99%
Thompson.
blocked and already
and he gained
collapsed.
2,900
So within
yards, and they
10
had
minutes,
another 1,000-yard
they
rusher
put a stand
on their
down.
team already.
I'm so glad
so
that we
knew
made that
coming in Thompson
decision
would be pretty tough.
to go to
North
Aiken
Augusta,
Regional
no fluke
right
either.
away.
They had a fine season
We definitely
last year.
made the
Were
right
undefeated
decision
during
in
the
going to
regular
Aiken
season, lost
Regional.
by an upset.
I don't think we
in
could have
the,
gotten better
playoffs.
kids.
But right now, it looks like Thompson is
All right,
got a little stronger.
and let me correct myself. North Augusta
Young,
is up 25
healthy patients
Well, now that
without
makes-
glasses,
I've got to read these
maybe
things.
once every 5 years. So,
They-
but if you
they
have
get
glasses,
texts from
kind of want
people
yearly
and,
visits
you have to
to
turn
make
it all
sure you're
around
in
and we're
the
in
right
commercial break
spectacles.
again, so.
You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits
Maybe
at
they
that
don't
point.
hear us.
Because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of
She said
things like
somebody
glaucoma,
else.
macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4
This thing's
doctors
just
at
feeding
Aiken
back, so-
Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interest. That's what it means to kind of channel. That means that you can count on us to fight.
All right, we'll try this again. Take 3. All right, we pretty much established North Augusta
is ahead.
Is ahead 25-6 over Thompson. You were asking about Lakeside and Midland Valley.
Lakeside and Midland Valley. Both teams had tough years last year. 2 and 9, both of them coming in. Don't know what's going on, and who's winning that ball game right now.
Lakeside is up 20-14.
So it's sometimes when you get teams that are evenly matched, you get a good football game, and it sounds like that's what's happening over there.
Sort of like what we got here in a 14-14 tie.
That's
here
exactly
at
right.
Okay. Let's see what else we got.
We got Barnwell playing somebody, and
Barnwell having their way. It's 47-0 at the half. So
over Williston Elko.
That's pretty amazing.
That surprised me. And the neat thing about that, as I was looking at it, Dwayne Garrick, who I think is a fine football coach, changed his offense this year. Okay. Last few years, we've seen him. Most of the games, they run that wishbone. He said, you know what, we get into the playoffs, and we need to be able to spread it out a little bit and score some more points, so we're changing our offense. Sounds like it's working.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Okay.
How about Strom Thurmond?
Strom Thurmond is playing Saluda.
And that's a pretty big rivalry, actually, of Edgefield and Saluda right down the road.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble.
God.
His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes,
apparently
they
they can't hear us.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point. Because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interest. That's what it means to kind of channel. That means that you can count on us to fight.
All right, it's 14-14 as we're at halftime, and would you like to know what the Chester and Aiken score is?
I would love to know what that score is.
From what I understand, the score is 30-0. Chester. Aiken still struggling.
Yeah, and Aiken had a bad season last year. And Chester, they've had good seasons the last few years. They've won a lot of ball games, and they're looking this year to take the next step. They've done well during the regular season, have not been able to advance during the playoffs very well, so they think this is the year that they can do that. All right, so Chester came into this ball game, and I expected that Chester would win, and I think most of the people in the paper also picked that. All right, a high-scoring team last year, averaged 43 points a game, 9-3, and they're a 3A ball club.
So it sounds like Chester's pretty good. Maybe
yes.
Aiken will learn something tonight about themselves. How about Ridge Spring?
Ridge Spring, I think, is one of the better teams in our area this year. Okay, they got experience. They have been successful in the past. They would like, and there's a couple teams that want to do this. Ridge Spring would like to be able to beat Williston Elko. They know that to advance in the playoffs, they've got to be able to beat Williston Elko, and that's their goal, among other things, of course. But they went into this game tonight against Batesburg Leesville. How's that stand right now?
Ridge Spring is ahead at half, 8-0, and I was surprised. I think everybody picked Ridge Spring. Batesburg is usually a pretty good, solid football team, so
yes, they
it
are.
surprised me that that's close.
Okay, and Batesburg is one of those teams that, you know, as the year goes on, they play better when they get into their league. But shoot, they're playing down today against Ridge Spring, so Ridge Spring might be for real this year.
All right, and Strom Thurmond They are leading 16-6
No,
at the
strong.
half.
And
they're playing Saluda, and Saluda always plays Strom Thurmond very tough.
Yeah, and Strom Thurmond defeated Saluda last year, then had kind of a disappointing season. Only ended up 7-6 or 6-5 or something like that. And that's not what Antoine Hillary would like to see. He wants to see them do better this year, and I think they will.
All right. We hope you got the scores. Is there another one you want to know?
Well, I don't know if we have the score on Wagner Sally, but
we do not have a score on Wagner Sally. They're playing Pillion.
Pillion, and I think they'll beat Pillion, frankly, but we'll see.
All right. Well, the teams have come back on the field. They're at their bench, and we have at least one stat to share with you here.
And this doesn't surprise us, okay? The primary thing for the offense for South Aiken was Jesse Sanders running the football, had 98 yards on the ground in the first half. That's a pretty good job for anybody, all right? And hopefully he'll be able to continue that in the second half, and they got to find some way else or some other way to put some yardage on the field and score some points.
And I would guess that at halftime, from Dan Pippin's perspective, okay, we got to find a way to stop the quarterback from running the football. And from what we've seen, he's pretty solid. That might not be the easiest thing in the world to do for Greenwood.
Yeah, and I think I think Dan Pippin will probably be a little upset at the way the second half or the second quarter went. His team looked to be in command, frankly, at 14-0, and then had the fumble of the punt is what really turned this game around. Okay, they got a good field position, scored, and then were able to put a second win and tie it up.
And of course, South Aiken got off on the wrong foot with the second play of the game by fumbling, giving Greenwood a short field, and that led to their first score. So both teams have had big turnovers that got them started, and that's where we are, tied. All right, a fumble on the kickoff around the 10-yard line, turns upfield, going to make the most of this and get out past the 20-yard line. Good run by Greenwood to get some positive yardage out to the 25-yard line.
And once again, KJ Mankins, okay, on the return. You know, sometimes when that ball gets fumbled on a kickoff, some teams tend to relax a little bit, and then you get a big run out of it, but pretty good coverage by South Aiken.
What's the date today? August 17th? 17th. Man, can you believe this weather?
I love this weather right now.
We've got a nice breeze blowing. I'd say it's about 10 knots. At least it's pretty nice out here. I'm sure by the time we get to Aiken, it'll be 100 million degrees in the box up there. All right, handoff.
Oh, there you go.
And good defense by South Aiken as they hold him down. That's going to be a loss, about 4 yards.
Desmond Lawrence, number 5. Number 8, Zaire Harrison in there. Number 13, Jabaz Oliphant. You know, we had a bunch of people around that ball carrier. Loss on the play.
High-quality dentistry, utilizing the latest technology with a personal touch.
All right. Second down. They lost 3 yards. We'll call it 2nd and 13. And Greenwood, apparently they stopped the clock. Now they rewind it. Maybe some equipment problem out there. Quick pass over the middle. Nice catch. Going to be short of a first down, but a good gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and about 2 yards, I believe.
Braylon Ryan on the catch. And that was a nice little fake in there. Play action pass right over the middle.
I'd say it's a little better than that. 3rd down and 1. See what Greenwood runs here. Two split wide to the left. Back in the backfield with Lindler. Handoff, straight dive. He's going to pick up the first down, moves the pile over to 35 to the 36. That'll be a Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for Greenwood. As we are a minute and a half into the 3rd quarter here at the Stomping Grounds at South Aiken.
Good defense.
South Aiken rises. They may have got back to the original line of scrimmage on that one. Bring up 2nd down and 10. Now we have a timeout.
I think somebody
There's an
Got a
injured
player down, yep.
South Aiken has an injured player. Well, we've got a player down on the field. Want to send our condolences and sympathies to Bob Bolton's family. Bob Bolton, well-known real estate agent in North Augusta, but known to us for being the sideline reporter for the North Augusta High School radio broadcast team. Bob was a fixture at North Augusta football games since we've been doing our coverage of football. I think this is our 9th season, Coach?
It is our 9th season.
And Bob was always there. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and heaven has a new, wonderful angel. And going to miss him a lot. He was a good guy, but at least he won't give me a hard time about South Carolina playing Georgia.
Well, I'll tell you what, he was a fine gentleman. He really was, and always courteous and always looking out for everybody, the kids, the fans. Did a nice job over there.
He loved North Augusta, not only the football team, but the community too, and did a great job in real estate over there. Dan Pippin and I talked about him before the game, and Dan went over and visited with the family yesterday. That's how much he meant to Dan when Dan was over there.
And that is Jabez Oliphant, who had a little bit of a twisted ankle or knee coming off to the sideline. I'll have to give him a look. He's been a factor in this ball game defensively, been in on a lot of tackles.
And he's limping, but he's walking under his own power. He'll get up on the table and he'll take a look at him. 2nd and 10. Lindler steps back, throws it downfield. Incomplete.
And nearly intercepted.
We're at that point in the field where I have to jump from the door to the window. All right, 3rd down and 10. Another big 3rd down play for the South Aiken defense. Greenwood has not had much success in 3rd and long. Drops back, throws in the middle, got a man. And he held on. Nice catch. Greenwood going to advance the ball into South Aiken territory at the 41-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for Greenwood.
And Isaiah Adams on the reception. Good play by the quarterback. Lindler hung in there. Okay, he was nearly sacked. Lots of pressure on him. Pretty calm under all that pressure. Made a nice throw. Adams made a nice catch. Pretty decent coverage, too.
All right, Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. Little dive. Goes right.
Traquan Shabazz on the carry. One of the
Shabazz.
players in on the tackle, number 40. Tyler Hudson.
One of the better names of football players. Shabazz. Shabazz picks up 2 yards, 2nd down and 8. Talked about Jesse Sanders having a good first half. Lindler had a pretty good first half as well. All right, good run this time by Shabazz. He breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and going to pick up another 1st down. Picked up 9, maybe 10 yards.
Nice cut back. Like you say, he got hit at the line of scrimmage and was able to turn it inside against the grain, as we say, and picked up a good gain.
And you got to wonder if Oliphant plays that big a part in the defensive line. As Greenwood was stalled, now they're moving the football. Oliphant over here on the sideline, still on the table. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. Good read by the quarterback Lindler to keep that one as they were bearing down on Shabazz. He keeps, he's going to pick up positive yardage.
And there we see somebody who's got a cramp, and I thought we might see some of that tonight. Usually early in the season we get that. Okay, that was Zaire Harrison, and he's a very active football player, so I don't doubt that he's draining himself a little bit out there.
Gain of 3 yards, 2nd down and 7. Brings a man in motion. Hands to him, breaks free, picks up big yardage over the 20. down to the 19-yard line. That's going to move the chains again. Greenwood in business now.
And that was Noah Emily. We saw him on a couple of receptions in the first half. They ran that jet sweep once in the first half for a decent gain, and that's another pretty good effort at it.
Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10. This drive really got going with the long pass on 3rd and 10, where Greenwood picked up the first down. Big play by Lindler.
Looks like it's going to be against South Aiken.
Yeah, they may have lined up in the neutral zone. So 5-yard walk-off. Remains first down, 1st and 5.
This is what it is. It's the huddle silence. Right now, but the first half it was saying Greenwood it was white had a check mark. Now it's yellow with an X.
Here goes Shabazz. Shabazz had a hole and runs through it. And I believe he's going to move the chains one more time. They are.
Fooled the cameraman that time. They thought the jet sweep was coming here. It was a fake of the sweep, and Shabazz took the ball around the right side instead.
And South Aiken going to take a timeout. We got timeout on the field. We'll keep it here. I see Oliphant puts his helmet on, and he's coming back on the field. That's a good sign for South Aiken. They pretty much had the running game bottled up, and since he's come out of the game, Greenwood's found some running room. Maybe just a coincidence.
Well, I don't know. He and Harrison walked into the ball game tonight together, and they both are big, strong-looking young men. So I think they want them both in there if at all possible.
Oliphant, a sophomore.
Only sophomore.
So Greenwood here with the ball, 7:09 left to go in the 3rd quarter. They took the opening kickoff. They still have the ball. Running some clock.
You know, I really don't think it makes any difference to these kids. They probably don't know. But Greenwood started playing football. Let me check something. I think they started playing football in 1933, if you can believe that. Okay. 1933 was the first year that they started playing football. They've won 14 state championships since that time. That's pretty remarkable.
You know, in reading the write-up today, one of the teams was playing. Let me see if I can find this. All right, Oliphant comes back in.
Oh, very nice.
Stop Shabazz.
And that was Harrison on the tackle. Well done.
I believe it was the Thompson-North Augusta game, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Thompson, the last time, you know, North Augusta's playing for revenge. Because the last time these two played, Thompson got the best of North Augusta, 26-0 on November 27th, 1924.
How does anybody remember that?
And no, Charlie Britt did not play in that game. I think he was in grade school. Oh, Charlie's not listening. All right, Shabazz.
Another good defensive stop there.
So Greenwood, who was having their way, gets inside the 10 and now runs into a brick wall. It's going to be 3rd down and goal at the 9-yard line.
The initial hit on that stop, Tyler Hudson, number 40.
I noted that this morning and said, man, that'll be a fun one to bring up. But I'm glad you brought up Greenwood 1933. If they think they're old. South Aiken established in 1981, I believe, was their first year. Stands up, going to throw over the middle. He's got it. Touchdown, Greenwood.
And he threw that into 3 defenders, okay? And Emily, who's a nice possession receiver, obviously, makes a nice catch, steps into the end zone. Clutch play by both those young men for Greenwood. Okay.
So Greenwood, who lost their lead, they had a 14-0 lead, lost it right before the half to tie it up. 2.7 seconds left. Now 5:31 left in the 3rd quarter. They take the lead. Extra point coming right now. Kick is up and kick is good. So Greenwood gets back on top by a touchdown, 21-14 our score here in the third quarter at the Stomping Grounds at South Aiken. We'll take a 30-minute break. We'll be right back.
Let's go 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
5:31 left to go in the third quarter. They took 6 minutes and 29 seconds off the clock, did Greenwood, to take that lead.
And very impressed by Lindler. A couple of really tough clutch passes. One to keep the drive going, in fact, spur it on. And then that touchdown throw was pretty neat. Okay, like I say, there were 3 defenders in the area, and he got it right in there. Got to give the kid credit.
Absolutely. He made the big play on 3rd and 10, and then a 3rd and 9 at the goal for the touchdown.
And he has done it with his arm primarily, although he did have a touchdown run to start the ball game, scoring early in the first quarter on a nice option play. But he's done it primarily with his arm. Jesse Sanders, on the other hand, done it primarily with his feet. Okay, he's had a nice running game so far, and also some nice passes. So we got the 2 quarterbacks playing a big role tonight in our ball game to open the season.
All right, Niece McCoy to kick off for Greenwood. I knew I'd do that before the night was over.
We were used to saying that with Dan Pippin on the sideline for a lot of years.
Well, especially they run the exact same offense. Maybe not quite so high octane as what we were used to. Maybe this is maybe Ryan's. Oh, makes a man fall down and miss. Going to get back to the 25-yard line. Nice little run. That's actually 23, which is 1 number more. A.J. Staley.
A.J. Staley. All right, let's see if South Aiken can come right back. They sort of had it going at the end of the first half. Let's see if they can keep that momentum offensively.
So South Aiken without the ball for quite a while now. Gets it back, trying to get going. Hit a wall, heading up the middle, maybe gained a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 9. And that was Ryan's on the carry.
And Greenwood's defensive front a little stockier than South Aiken. Not quite as tall, but a little stockier. Cortland Brown, one of the ones in on that tackle.
Sends a man in motion. Usually Jesse runs out of this formation, spreading the field. He's going to throw this, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and 9. And again, Greenwood seemed to find itself on 3rd and long on that last drive. South Aiken has not been too strong on 3rd and long themselves. We'll see if they can pick it up here.
See if they can convert.
Sanders looks to the sidelines, gets his call. Sets him down. Looks left. Now comes back to the middle. He's going to be sacked.
And that's your basic coverage sack. He looked down, everybody's covered, didn't have a lane to throw it in, and took too long. Good coverage by Greenwood. They got to punt the football.
So the loss is 3 yards. It's going to be a 4th and 12. Punting unit on. Platt back on the field. And, of course, he got things started with his 50-yard punt that was muffed down at the 5-yard line.
If Zay Davis bobbles this one, he's going to have to get on that thing quick. And he's just letting it go. Don't blame him.
Goes out of bounds at the 34-yard line, where Greenwood will take over. Channel off on
we got a
1st and
penalty
10,
too,
and there
Ed.
is a flag on the field. So
we might have a roughing. Who knows? Didn't see it, but
that's at the line of scrimmage. as the ball was at the 23. That's usually going to be a holding call on the offense. The defense trying to get through where that flag sits. Unless North Augusta grabbed somebody as they ran down the field. He's going to go talk to Coach Pippin, well, the referee. I imagine he has been yelled at enough by Dan to know that better go over here and tell him so he doesn't start yelling at me.
All right, fellas, how about letting the rest of us in on this?
Well, this is a long conversation. If it's against South Aiken, I may be asking him, does he want him to punt it again? Ball was kicked to the 34-yard line, which was a 40-yard punt. And Platt has gotten better as the night has worn on.
This is going to be an interesting call.
So I believe that was it. He was asking him, do you want to punt again or do you want to take the ball? And they may actually walk it off from down here after all that. I'm sure Coach Hamilton would love for him to come over and explain it to him too. So here's our call. Face mask, personal foul against South Aiken. So they're going to walk off 15 right there.
Okay.
Now, why would he need to go talk to either coach?
Yeah.
And here he comes over to talk to South Aiken.
He'll get the explanation. All right.
And really, I think that's the right call. If the face mask occurred during the punt, you walk it off. But why in the world would you go over there and discuss it is my question. But anyway, it's 15-yard walk-off to the 49-yard line. A yard short of midfield for Greenwood as they start their second possession. And this is a new quarterback. It's number 17. He looks like he can run. He's going to get outside and get more. He's going to get about 20. So he's running out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line. That's a 20-yard gain. And who is that?
That is Jalen Tolbert. We saw him for just a couple of plays in the first half. You know, went in there for a little package type thing. But he does have some speed. Only a sophomore. He's also a wide receiver, playing behind Lindler as a quarterback. Now he's in there as the quarterback.
I was just getting ready to say, Greenwood on their first possession took 6 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock. If they did that again, of course, if they pick up 20 yards at a clip, and here's another long run of 10 yards. It's not going to take them quite as long on this one if they keep doing that. That picked up 11.
That's a nice run by this young man, too, Jalen Tolbert, once again. And he got hit 2 or 3 times, kept on going. This kid reminds me, just in the few plays we've seen him, of some of the quarterbacks that we're used to seeing with Dan Pippin that can really run the football well.
Looks a little bigger. He's got some big legs, too, a little like Jesse Sanders. What year is this kid?
Sophomore.
Sophomore, so, whew. Hey, hands off. There's Shabazz running over people.
That is a terrific run. He broke 3 or 4 tackles there.
I believe he picked up about 17 yards on that play, and it's going to be 1st and goal inside the 5.
Well, in these last couple of plays, Greenwood has had South Aiken on their heels, and their runners have really looked strong. And we got a new runner in there for Marquise Sproul is in there, number 32.
So that was the runner, not Shabazz. And they hand off to him again. He's going to take it in the end zone for a touchdown. Greenwood didn't need 6.5 minutes. They only needed a couple to get that one done.
And that running back is also a sophomore, so he's brought 2 young kids in, and as he said, they're kind of a young team. Both of these teams come in here with some young stars in the future, future stars, and two of them look like they could play right now. Strong run.
Certainly, Brett Lindler has looked very good at the quarterback position. He's a senior. But Tolbert, they're very athletic looking kid from what we can tell. Extra point try, kick is up, kick is good. So Greenwood lost their 14-0 lead. Didn't take them the whole third quarter to get the 14-point lead back. They now lead 28-14, 3:04 left to go here in the third quarter. We'll take a break and be right back. 30-second timeout.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point. Because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
Nice McCoy to kick off. He's done a nice job with that job this evening.
And here comes Staley again. Tripped up right around the 25. Looks like he's down at the 27-yard line. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10 for South Aiken.
Steve Scurry on the tackle for Greenwood. Now we're at the point, because of the way this game's going, South Aiken needs a drive here. They need to score.
Now they're in danger of being 14 points behind, and we've seen Greenwood sustain the drive. They can run the clock out. Little jet sweep action gets them about 4 yards. 2nd down and 6.
Dallas McKeever got some speed.
Actually, they say he picked up 6. 2nd down and 4. And they pulled a guard.
Yes, they did.
Got him in the hole. So Sanders goes over 100 yards rushing for the night with that. Of course, I don't know, did they count the sacks as rushing? And now Sanders.
Yes, they do. Sanders comes up a little gimpy there. I can't tell whether that's a cramp or whether he's got a little twisted.
I think he'll shake it off. But that'll give a shot to the backup, Hickson.
Here comes EJ. He's looked good in his time in the ball game.
Yeah, he hadn't looked bad at all. Another sophomore quarterback.
There's nice
Good
throw.
pass, Mays.
That is Mays. We know he can catch the ball after what he did early in this ball game down on the goal line.
Made a heck of a catch on that last drive of the first half.
Good to see him back in there.
I think he got the wind knocked out of him because he got hit from behind. That'll do it. See what the call is. Illegal receiver downfield.
Ineligible receiver downfield, the penalty is declined.
So no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. Brings the man in motion. Empty backfield, going to look for somewhere to run, and Greenwood had that played well. going to lose 4 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 14. So Sanders will come back in the game, but faces a tall task in 3rd and 14. Empty backfield. 3 split wide to the left, 2 to the right. Takes the snap, looks to his left, now under pressure, and he's knocked down to the 35. He'll lose 6 yards on the sack. They'll say his forward progress was to the 36, so he lost 5. Anyway, you look at it, it's 4th and about 20 yards. Punting unit on, Platt will have another opportunity to punt.
Great pressure that time by Greenwood. He really didn't have a chance.
Whatever adjustments Greenwood made at halftime, they've worked well. Gets this one off.
You will note
inside the 20
that they brought everybody except one guy, and they have no intention of returning that punt at all. And he didn't even make an effort to go to the side where the ball was kicked.
That punt covered, let's see, 35, 40, about 50 yards.
Got a good roll down to the 14. Let's see if South Aiken cause a fumble here. Disrupt this offense and get great field position.
All right, Lindler comes back in the game, and I imagine Greenwood now will try to go to the control game, be satisfied with moving the ball down the field like they did in the opening drive. Lindler keeps, gets inside, down to the 16, picked up 2 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. Yeah, you're right. They didn't even have anybody deep to receive the punt. That got them in trouble in the first half. We ain't gonna make that same mistake. Inside handoff. Goes off the left side. Picks up maybe 2 yards.
I think that'll be the last play of this quarter. They're going to go down to the other end.
Bring up 3rd down and 6 as the final seconds tick off the clock. Greenwood leads South Aiken 28-14. A good 3rd quarter for Greenwood. South Aiken not so much. We'll take a 60-second break here in the 3rd to 4th quarter. You're watching the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point. Because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent them? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion and representing your interests. That's what it means to count each other. That means that you can count on us to fight.
Time for the 4th quarter here in the initial Aiken Standard Game of the Week for 2018. South Aiken playing host to Greenwood, and Greenwood treated their host rudely. There in the 3rd quarter, they lead 28-14 in a game that was tied at 14 at the half. All right, Chipper Jones coming to bat apparently. He's playing Crazy Train. That might save us. Oh, that's right. You're a Washington Nationals fan. You wouldn't know that. How many games are y'all behind the Braves?
It's hard to tell. We haven't been playing well.
All right, Shabazz. Not going to have room to run. That's going to bring up 4th down, and South Aiken's defense holds Greenwood for a 3 and out, and if they're going to get back in the game, they're going to have to get this punt and bring it back down the field.
Well, we've seen some strange things happen already with the punting game tonight. Let's see what happens here. I'm anticipating they're going to bring some pressure.
McKeever.
Strange things can happen here.
Is deep. Gets the kick away. It's a little short, and it's going to take a sideways bounce right at the 50-yard line. They're down it at the 50-yard line. This time right at midfield, where South Aiken will take over. But there is a flag down at the 25-yard line. And let's see what the call is.
I think it's going to be holding, but that's one of those things. If it is, I think I saw exactly where it took place, and it's one of those calls that doesn't need to be made. Yep.
Holding against South Aiken.
Yeah.
On the return. So I'll drop it back to the 40-yard line. At least he didn't go over and ask Coach Pippin what to do.
No, that one, you could see the two kids, and they were basically wrestling with each other about 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. And the ball was already rolling dead, and they got the call. Not necessary. I mean, no harm, no foul.
It's their first game of the year, too.
That's true. I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
All right, Jesse Sanders with a quiet third quarter. Hurt his knee a little bit on one drive after picking up a big first down. Now he keeps, and Greenwood stops him. That may be the first time that they've actually stopped him for a short gain. He only picked up a yard.
Initial hit by K.J. Martin, okay, and then he got some help from Carolina. And I don't mean South or North Carolina. He held Carolina.
His last name is Carolina.
His last name is Carolina.
But he lives in South Carolina, so he's representing South
Carolina.
Which is the Carolina, by the way. For any of you watching and listening and needed to know that. We're in South Carolina. Carolina is South Carolina.
Little rivalry between North and South Carolina, is there not?
No, we don't care about them. Did back in the days when South Carolina was in the ACC, which, believe it or not, I do remember.
Oh, yeah.
A little Green Day music entertaining us here in the break while they apparently had an equipment malfunction or something. I don't think it was an injured player.
No, I think you're right.
Oh, nice.
No.
Clayton turned to run and
ball got stripped.
Did not keep a good defensive play by Greenwood.
For just an instant, I thought that was going to be one of those plays where the defender threw him around and he goes into the end zone.
And runs the length of the field. So third down, 8.5. Rolls to his right. Going to throw. Went over everybody's head. Incomplete. Fourth down coming up. And I would guess the punting unit will be coming on the field.
The only good thing about that drive, it didn't take much time off the clock. Still 10:48 left. The bad news is, looks like Greenwood's getting the football.
Yes, we have a little trickery here. They do have a receiver deep for Greenwood. And not a very good punt. Straight up, end over end, rolls back, going to go out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So,
yeah, they
Platt is, I believe the wind is blowing pretty much. It's across the field a little bit, but it's heading more to the north than the south. So maybe that has affected it. He's punted very well to the other end of the field, punting south to north.
All right, here come the youngsters again. The two sophomores are back in the backfield. Jalen Tolbert at the quarterback and Marquise Sproul at the running back.
The last time we saw them, they rolled down the field.
Right down the field.
Going to keep this Tolbert. He's hit short gain 2 or 3.
Both teams do a nice job riding that ball carrier in there, taking the ball out when the quarterback keeps it. Pretty deceptive.
We'll give him 2.5. Second down, 7.5. Now Tolbert going to try to get outside, and he's tackled. He got no gain, but I think somebody threw up an arm and grabbed somebody.
I believe number 50 tackled somebody. That's not what he's supposed to do on offense.
Referee trailing that saw it. Holding is the call against Greenwood. No big surprise there. I don't think even Coach Pippin will argue that one. Good news for Greenwood, they'll get another play. So Tolbert got a little further to go. Now second down and 20. Gonna keep.
Look out.
Tell you what, he's got a good first step, and he'll make some yardage. He's going to pass the 50 to the 49-yard line. Helmet came off, and they'll let him go to the sidelines and put his helmet back on.
Tell you what, he's dangerous. Tolbert is dangerous.
They couldn't bring him down. I think it was Mazzell that his helmet came off. He could have been tackled back at the line of scrimmage, but he got loose, and then he's off and running.
Another penalty.
It's another penalty. Well, maybe that's why he was off and running. It's another holding. So we're going to repeat third down again, or second down.
Second down.
And it's second down and 20. So the gain is nullified. Nothing else. Tolbert might be getting tired. Going to keep, try to get inside off that left tackle. Gets back to the 40. Picks up 5. Bring a third down and 15. Clock winds down. 9 minutes left to go in the ball game. And Greenwood content to take their time, run the clock. Clock is South Aiken's enemy at this point. Nope. And now a sack. So South Aiken's defense does a little better against Tolbert this time around.
Yes, they did. Smothered him there. The entire defensive front was in there.
Loss of the 5 yards he gained, so it's going to bring up fourth down and 20. Punting time for the Eagles. That goes up.
Pretty nice punt.
And this time there's going to be a return. Breaks a couple of tackles.
Oh,
gets
yes,
back
indeed.
Across the 45. I think I'll say he was down at the 45. So Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10 for South Aiken. As Chester Sanders will go back out on the field, see if he can do some late heroics here like he did in the first half in the second quarter.
Well, great field position, probably the best that they've had to start a drive in the entire night. Obviously, they've got to score here, probably go with an onside kick, get the ball back, and put another one in to get back in this ball game. Let's see if they can do it.
Gonna throw it downfield and falls incomplete at the feet of the intended receiver. Not sure that the pass had a chance.
That looked kind of funny. I don't know whether it got hit or. He certainly has a strong arm.
Three wide receivers to the left, one to the right.
4-man rush this time for Greenwood instead of their 3-man rush.
So South Aiken runs it. Going to pick up about 4 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 6. And whatever their best play for picking up 6 yards is, they need to run it here. Now we're going to have a clock stopped. I think Greenwood has a gimpy player. He's going to run to the sidelines.
That is K.J. Martin. He's played a nice ball game. He's been tough up there on the defensive line.
And so they wind the clock.
Either got stepped on or got a cramp. Something happened to him.
Fakes, throws, got a man, and good defense closing in on that. He had him for a second. That was Staley, who was running on the slot.
And you're right, that was a real nice defensive play.
Good
Looked like that
timing.
was going to be complete, and he came like a shot, knocked it away.
So I believe South Aiken will go for it here on 4th down, 4th and 6. No need to punt here, and they're going to call timeout. Well, Greenwood calls a timeout. They're going to talk about it. Can't do the old try to get them to jump off sides because it's 4th and 6. That wouldn't necessarily help a whole lot. So we'll see what the players come up with. Notice they were playing a little Aretha Franklin here at South Aiken earlier, and sorry to see her pass away. What a voice.
I bet you enjoyed her over the years with your music business and your DJing and everything.
It's always amazing to really sit her down and analyze it and hear it. And, you know, she died yesterday. Do you know who died? 41. The king of rock and roll and the queen of soul died on the same date. It's kind of appropriate, king and queen. Of course, that's not Aretha Franklin there playing in the background. That's the old Jefferson's tune. I don't know who sang that. So, 4th and 6. This is last gasp. 7:20 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Back to pass. Looks now going to run to his left. Going to have to turn and throw it downfield. Got a man if he can keep his feet in.
I think
they're going to call him good. And that was Mays. What a catch.
I'll tell you what, he's made 2 big catches tonight. And that one, okay, he looked like he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
It was close.
It was very close, but good for South Aiken.
No replay, so we'll go forward.
And Sanders bought a lot of time there. Looked like he didn't have anything left, but found somebody.
Yeah, he made a really good pass running to his left to square his shoulders and throw that. Keeps on this, not going to get much, but he'll get a couple yards. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Not over yet.
Now we got a timeout. South Aiken going to talk about it on a 2nd down and 2. We'll keep it right here. Well, you know, it's first game of the season, and I think pretty much what we expected from both of them is to they're feeling their way around a little bit, trying some different things. I think there's some potential to be good on both sides with these two teams.
I do too, but I think some of their youth came out a little bit tonight too. They're not as sharp. I don't believe either one of these teams is as sharp as they were last year offensively at this point.
Certainly not.
Okay, but both of them lost some big-time, players, and so they're going to have to grow a little bit, and I think they will.
There's no question what South Aiken, Greenwood, we're not quite as familiar with, though we did see a game last year. But they've lost their quarterback, their wide receivers, their running back. Same thing with South Aiken. And that was an awfully good team. Chris, the running back, Chris Roberts had over 4,000 yards in his career.
And the quarterback last year for Greenwood gained 2,500 yards last year.
Wow, that's tough to replace.
So that is very tough to replace.
And Boydton at quarterback for South Aiken. Jesse Sanders is doing a good job. I'm sure he's going to be a good quarterback. But Boydton, you can't argue with his career of how well that team played with those two players in particular, much less some of the wide receivers that were leaving out, Kitchens, Staley. They were a good football team.
And both of these teams are used to winning now.
Well, there's a nice throw. Good defense.
That's a second time. That's the same cornerback that just came flying across there. Let's see which one. That's number 22, Malik Shabazz. Okay, and that's two times where it looked like that ball was going to get in there, and he just flew across the pattern and helped to break it up.
He probably, if he would, if McKeever was open on the sidelines, if he would pump fake to the middle and look to his left down the field, I think that's open. McKeever is definitely telling him as much. McKeever needs to control his emotions a little bit and get back to the huddle and say, okay, I'm open on that play. And a pump fake and bring it downfield. We've got a timeout on the field, and it's officials timeout.
Somebody.
6:35 left, and there's a Greenwood player down at the goal line on a knee.
And that is number 22. We've called his name a lot tonight, Malik Shabazz. Can't tell exactly what the story is.
And he's been a star on offense. Guess he's playing both ways.
The good news, as far as I'm concerned, is it doesn't look like an ankle or a knee.
He's up, he's walking it off. Again, it could be cramps.
Or it could be the wind knocked out of him there. Like I say, he came flying out of nowhere and hit the ground pretty hard.
We'll see if they'll do that crossing pattern. They've got Clayton and McKeever in the same slot, same position, one wide left, the other one in the slot left. See if they crisscross him. He's looking that way. Oh, couldn't hang on. That time they covered McKeever, so he went to the receiver who was open, and unfortunately Clayton couldn't hang on to it.
Looked like a nice pattern that both of those guys ran. And he was turning out to the outside.
So it comes down to this. 4th down. They need 8.5 yards to pick up the first down. This may be where we see Jesse. Let's see what kind of containment Greenwood does. They've seemed to contain him pretty good here in the second half. It's going downfield in the corner for McKeever. He overshoots him. It's incomplete. And Greenwood will take over on downs with 6:23 left to go in the ball game. And you got to believe that Dan Pippin will play it close to the vest, run some of this clock. I believe South Aiken has used 2 timeouts, so they only have 1 left.
I always think it's funny when you get in this situation, the players, they want to just keep on playing. The coaches are over there saying, run, clock, run, let's get out of here. Yeah. We're happy. A win's a win. Let's not let something squirrely take place.
Well, the muff punt I'm sure, sticks in Dan Pippen's mind. Just run the clock out.
And they've got the veteran in there, Lindler, back in at quarterback, the senior quarterback. Ooh, good defensive charge. Wow.
Grabbed him with one hand and pulled, I believe it's Shabazz. Again, number 20. Yeah, Shabazz pulled down. Who was that for South Aiken?
Harrison was one of the ones that was in there. Number 8 was in there for South Aiken. Zaire Harrison.
And he came through, knocked off the block, and grabbed the running back all at the same time.
Desmond Lawrence, number 5, was also in on that tackle. Both of them were there.
Lawrence on the inside. Shabazz gets away on this, and it's going to be a little short of the first down, brought down at the 28-yard line. Bring up third down. You'll need another 3 yards for the first down.
We've got two.
Tolbert in the game.
They must be brothers, I think, or cousins. Traquan Shabazz, who's been running the football, and Malik Shabazz, who has been a defensive back.
Who keeps his Tolbert. Tolbert hit hard at the 35, but I believe he picked up the first down.
And you know, that's the one thing, as he got hit and as he was tripped and fallen in a vulnerable position, and the defensive back also went down a little bit low, and that's where you get some injuries, and there's nothing you can do about that.
It really is. I mean, the guy doesn't know he's going to fall down.
That's right.
And that was Butler on the tackle.
And if we could eliminate that, of course, everybody in the world would do that, but I don't know how to do that. Whoa, he almost took the handoff.
That just never got started in the backfield. It's going to be a sizable loss. About 5 yards, second down and 15.
Travis Butler in there that time. And like I say, I thought he was going to take the handoff and go the other way with it.
South Aiken's shown some flashes at times.
They sure have.
Lindler taking his time as Coach Pippen letting the clock run. Down less than 4 minutes now. They're going to call a timeout and talk about it and try to run the rest of the clock out here tonight. But it looks like Coach Pippen will make his return here to South Aiken a good one. Of course, he came back with North Augusta, and he won more than he lost. Remember, he lost that first season to South Aiken.
And that was a pretty good upset, too, I think. And
after that first year, he took his lumps in his first year at North Augusta, and after that, they were pretty strong and one of the better teams in the state. They hated to lose him, but he saw the opportunity at Greenwood to be an opportunity where a team that just, like you said, of course, we've just said North Augusta has been playing since at least 1924. We know that. And Greenwood since 1933. But as far as in the recent years, Greenwood has produced some excellent teams and some excellent football players, professional football players wise.
When I was speaking with Coach Pippen, he said his freshmen and sophomores are pretty daggone good, okay? And he thinks they've got a ways to grow. And he's got a couple, obviously. There are some sophomores that played for him tonight that are really good football players. South Aiken in the same situation. They've got some young kids that are going to be very, very good.
And Tolbert gets loose, so he's going to be down very close to the first down. Let's see where they spot him. Right at the 45-yard line. And he needed to make the 45, maybe just past it. It's going to bring up third down. If he didn't get it, they're measuring it. And they say he got it. So they're going to move the chains 1st and 10, and that should be enough to push Greenwood over the top in terms of the clock. 3:46 left to go with a new set of downs. And South Aiken, I believe, only has 1 timeout remaining. And they trail by 2 touchdowns. 28-14. We were tied at the half. South Aiken stormed back after trailing 14-0 to tie it up at 14 at halftime. But Greenwood, on a sustained drive of 6 minutes and a half, able to run off clock and put the lead in their hands, and they haven't relinquished it since.
Aaron Maisel on that tackle. They're still playing out there.
Lost a couple yards, 2nd down and 12. Sticking with Tolbert at quarterback position. And Greenwood in no hurry, and this may, I don't know if that's a movement. Yep. Procedure penalty against Greenwood. 5-yard walk-off. Now, if he starts the clock, that actually works, and he does. So now they've got a new clock. They can just let it run. I think they're going to go ahead and run the play, though. Tolbert not getting anywhere this time. He's going to lose more yardage. We'll bring up 3rd down.
And now in that situation, they should blow the whistle quickly. Those guys are just holding him up and trying to strip the ball. It's a good defensive effort, but I think the referee should say, hey, they're done with this play.
I was going to say they stopped the clock, and there's no reason to stop the clock, and they wind it now. And yep, it's probably 5 or 6 seconds that would have gone off. Down to 2.5 minutes. 3rd down. Little room to run there, but he knocked down. Shabazz didn't get too far. 4th down, and I think
number 20 tackled by number 20, and that was Braden Briatico.
Now, they said that Greenwood called the timeout, which makes absolutely no sense at all to me. Why would they call timeout to run the punting unit out on the field? I just...
I don't know. Maybe they're getting their 2nd defense ready to come out there. They got to get them all together so they make sure they get 11 guys.
Yep, be careful and don't make any mistakes. Again, we first half, South Aiken fumbled the 2nd play of the first half. Greenwood recovered around the 14-yard line. They took it in on the 2nd play, got up 7-0. They had a sustained drive to get their lead to 14-0. Then Greenwood muffed a punt at the 6-yard line. South Aiken recovered. 2nd play, they went in 14-7. Then a sustained drive right before the half. South Aiken tied it at 14, but it's been all Greenwood here in the 2nd half as they came out and scored on their first possession in their 2nd. Punt goes downfield. And stopped it around the 30-yard line, 31. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. South Aiken takes over with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in the ball game.
Dallas McKeever is not the biggest guy out on that field, but he's kind of feisty. I like him.
He wants the ball.
Yes, he does.
Like I said earlier, he was showing his feelings on his sleeves as he was open and pass went to the middle. Of course, it's easy when you throw the pass and receiver, the defenders run inside. You just come back and tell your quarterback, I think I'm open. I was going to say that could have been picked off. Pick up 5 yards.
For just an instant there, I thought they were going to throw the double pass.
Yeah. 2nd down and 5. this point, they need some type of miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, turns around and goes back the other way. And that got tossed up in the air. That took forever to come down. Was that batted?
Yes. That was a strange looking play.
It's the play develops from behind this window here, and you look around. Empty backfield. Third down, 5 yards. Tries to step out of it. Sanders going to go down, going to lose a couple yards back to the 35. Brings up 4th down. And I would guess, for the sake of the story, you could go for it. Well, no, he's going to send the punting unit out.
And Cortland Brown made sure he stayed down. Another one of those kids for Greenwood that's not that tall, but he's very stocky. Looks a little strong.
Jesse had his way in the first half. He had 98 yards rushing. He hasn't had but a handful here in the second half. He's over 100 yards, but not by much.
And they haven't had the ball much in the second half either. Greenwood has kept it most of the ball game. There's another one.
And nobody deep to receive,
No,
which
stay away
that
from
does
that.
make sense on that. And it'll roll out of bounds with about 45 seconds left to go in the ball game.
Let's not make any dumb mistakes, but I mean, this one should be over, obviously. 45 seconds, 14 points down. Miracles happen, but I don't think we're going to see one tonight.
Greenwood probably just go ahead and take a knee. I think South Aiken took their last time out, so. Now Greenwood takes another timeout. I guess he's going to run a offense out there and put some new people in, let them get some experience.
Let them get on the field anyhow.
Seems like Greenwood's used 10 timeouts here in the second half.
See Eric Russell down there. Maybe he can get one of the coaches and talk to him.
I would imagine that he will. He'll try.
And there you go, Lindler practicing his kneel-down approach over there.
Maybe they haven't practiced it, and that's what the timeout's for. Is here's how you take
Boop.
a knee.
Take a knee. Well, while we got a minute here, how you feeling about South Carolina this year?
We'll see in 2 weeks or a week after the first game. Coastal Carolina comes to town, and then Georgia. And we know Georgia's going to be good. And can South Carolina play with Georgia? We're going to find out. I think we've got a chance to have pretty good offense, but I think the defense will be very good. Victory formation for Greenwood.
Just like he practiced.
Yeah, that's a good timeout. Needs to do that one more time. I'm talking to Dan before the game. I'd say Coach Pippin said that they wouldn't be doing this. Maybe they haven't practiced the victory formation.
That's it.
That should be the last play of the game as the players line up at midfield to shake hands. And our first game of the 2018 season is in the books. And it was a good game. First half, we were tied at halftime 14-14. But Greenwood came out, sustained a long drive to start the second half. Scored on their first possession, a touchdown. Nice play by Lindler where he went on 3rd and 10, got a first down on the first 3 of the possession, then got downfield and on 3rd down and 9 threw a touchdown pass. So that went a long way for the second half for Greenwood, and they scored on the second possession fairly easily with Tolbert quarterbacking. So
that's right.
Its final score is Greenwood 28, South Aiken 14. Any thoughts?
Well, I think both teams played respectably on defense. I think both of them have a little work to do on offense, frankly. Okay, but it's early in the season. both of them should be successful this year. They're both used to winning. Like I said earlier, Greenwood was 10-3 last year. South Aiken, I guess, was 10-2, weren't they? Something like that, 10-1 maybe.
Yeah.
10-1. So both teams can win. They know how to win, but both teams have some work to do. An even game tonight, really competitive game tonight. The thing I liked, both coaches said they had some good young players, and they do. Okay, we saw them, and they played a big role tonight for both teams. And I think they'll both be successful as the season goes on. One of the things that we haven't mentioned, but we should, South Aiken was playing up tonight. Greenwood's a 5A team, they're a 4A team, and you know, that may make a difference too.
All right, we'll take a break, and we'll find out if Eric Russell has a coach to talk to. I believe he's talking to Coach Hamilton right now at the 35-yard line. But we'll take a break, and we'll come back and wrap it up for our first game of the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
So we definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
He's down there, so the answer's going to
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count on Chandler. That means that you can count on us to fight.
Good? Yes, sir.
coming. Well, are we coming back, or is this the wrap-up?
I'm good.
For our Wagner friends, Wagner won 22-0, but we don't know if anybody's hearing us. All right, let's assume it's over.
Okay. It's over. Thank you. Did you get yours? Yeah, okay. All right, and next week we're supposed to be at Grovetown at Midland Valley. Midland Valley. I like going to Midland Valley.